This is part 2 to the video I did earlier where I analyzed a website that sold on eBay recently for $99. And we looked at the page source code, an HTML file, and analyzed the content of the page. We looked at the store that appeared on the page on the website and made some comments about that. And my final analysis was that the owner of that website, as it currently exists, stands little to no chance of ever seeing a nickel from that website because it's extremely unlikely that anybody he doesn't personally tell about it is ever going to find it. And I said there's a better way to do it. Now, I made this website about 3 weeks ago, and it's not to tout my own horn, but only to point out that there is a method to be followed that gives you a much better chance of producing a website that is going to appear, toward the front of the Google listings. That's going to give you an opportunity to make some money. And I'll explain how I did that. The first thing I did was I did keyword research concerning this area, this niche, which I determined was a money-making niche. And the keyword phrase Coleman Road Trip Grill produced about 1,900 searches a month. Advertisers were willing to pay as much as $3.08 per click and position 1 to 3 in Google AdWords. I determined from the Microsoft Ad Center that about 81% of the people who started this search with Coleman Road Trip Grill ended up going to a website from which they can make a purchase, and Microsoft calls that commercial intent. So commercial intent over 50% is good, 81% is very good, so I knew it was a commercial term. And I also determined that the strength of competition was fairly low. So I did a search and determined that the domain name Coleman Road Trip Grill was available. I grabbed it, and then I made this site. And I made this site out of WordPress, so you don't have to do any HTML editing, but I'll point out to you there's a much more valuable reason that's for using WordPress. So in the other site, we looked at their source code. Let's do the same thing here. This is the source code from the Coleman Road Trip Grill site. We did the same thing we did with the photography store site you saw earlier. And here's the title, Coleman Road Trip Grill. And again, can't emphasize it enough, 80% of your success in Google rankings is going to be determined by your page title and the links pointing to the page. But if we scroll down the page, we can see that in addition to all the WordPress code here, when the Google spiders come, they're going to find words on the page. And the words on the page related to the context or the topic that we're telling Google the page is all about will determine the other 20% of your rankings. So you can just see right off the bat that we're going to be better off with the WordPress format and actually putting words on the page than we were going the other route with an iframe store. Okay, so we know we're better off, but what does that get us? Let's go to Google and search for Coleman Road Trip Grill. And you can see these are results 11 to 20. And here's the first result on the second page, Coleman Road Trip Grill. So in 3 weeks, we're the first listing on the second page of Google. Granted, there's only 30,300 competitors for Coleman Road Trip Grill, which is far less than Nikon, but I mean that was part of the planning going in. And number 11 in 3 weeks, presents a good opportunity to sneak ahead of some of the people ahead of you and get onto the front page of Google. Okay, let's go back to the store. On the first video, I showed you how the website had a photo store that was not on that website's location, but at Amazon. And we have a grill store here. We have a store here also, which is also an Amazon store. But the difference is that this store is on this site. And it's actually fairly simple to build a store with the software, which I can explain in greater detail at another time. But let's do a similar comparison in Traffic Travis. I put in the URL for the store with the keyword phrase we're primarily interested in, Coleman Road Trip Grill, and we got a B+ rating, which is decent. It certainly can be improved. We want to have at least an A for the store pages, and for any page on your main site you want an A+, and you should accept nothing less than that. But we can see that we're probably achieving this ranking because we have 122 internal links and 3 external links, and you're in complete control of the number of internal links, certainly, and somewhat in control of external links, so that you can post to blogs and write articles to build that number up. But just from looking at this video, I found a way I can immediately improve the ranking of the website. And that I know at the moment there's 122 internal links just in the store, which I can increase by the hundreds fairly quickly. If I just put in a sentence here, the home page for this site is the Coleman Road Trip Grill, then I'll have increased my backlinks to my primary keyword phrase by the hundreds. That in itself may be enough to bump me to the front page of Google. I'm going to have to try that and see if it works. Okay, I emphasized earlier that one of the advantages to WordPress versus the conventional HTML editor is that it's easier to rework your pages without knowing a heck of a lot about HTML. And if you want to edit a page, for example, this is the front page of my site. If I wanted to edit it, all I would have to do is make changes in here. You can even do it with a visual editor. I prefer the other, but you can do it with a visual editor, and when you're done you just push update page and your site is updated. Now that in itself is a pretty good advantage, but I said there was an even greater advantage to the WordPress platform, and I want to show you that in the plugins. If you don't know what a plugin is for WordPress, it's a free add-on. You can download it. Takes about a minute to install it, maybe another minute to configure it if it has a configuration. In this case, the plugin I use is Contextual Related Posts, and what that does is produce backlinks to every page on my site with absolutely no effort on my part. And you can see related posts. Here are backlinks to 5 other pages on my site, and if I click on one of these pages, there's going to be backlinks to 5 more pages, each with the keyword in the title, and I know what the keywords in the titles are because I wrote them. So I'm in complete control of controlling the backlinks on my site, all of which has propelled me to number 11 on Google, and hopefully to the front page in a short time from now. There's only a few seconds left in the video, but hopefully in this 2-part video series I've been able to show you effectively that there is a difference between either building or buying a website and building or buying an internet business. There is a right way, or at least a better way to do it, and hopefully I've imparted some of that to you.